that they are satisfied with the electoral processes so far, and he has reiterated the urge for voters to go out there and make that mark, because time is definitely running out. When those times actually come, voting will be closing. He also said that the NC is confident that they will win or retain some of their metros, or most. In fact, he said all of their metros, and of course he was adding to that ANC slogan, Asinavalo, loosely meaning they have no fear. It's now time to check out what's happening in the Western Cape at the IEC Results Centre there, and Vanessa Pune is standing by.
Alicia, good afternoon and welcome back to the IEC Elections Results Centre here in Cape Town. I'm happy to report that there seems to be more blue skies than cloud cover over our iconic Table Mountain here in the city, making for a moderate day in terms of voting, weather-wise at least. But according to information coming in from our reporters across the province, as well as the IEC here in the Western Cape, everything seems to be running smoothly. Here at the IEC's Nerve Centre in the province, a hive of activity. Now, reporter Abra Barbia is with the IEC's Operations Manager for Electoral Matters, Derek Marco.
Thank you so much. Yes, I am here with Derek Marco, who's going to be giving us an idea of what exactly is happening on the floor today, and is also going to be assisting us with a little bit of voter education. Mr. Marco, thank you for speaking with us. First of all, give us an overview of how the Western Cape has done this far today.
We have 1,586 voting stations that has opened up. We have 402 wards, and elections are contested in each one of those wards. We have about 15% turnout at the moment, and so the last 4 hours would be very interesting to see the increase in numbers for the turnout within the province itself.
On that point, sir, Cape Town's also known as Slaapstad. Traditionally, how does it look coming closer to when the doors close? Do our people then turn out? I mean, when I was out this morning, I saw long queues. Do our people normally rush out at the last minute?
We have two peak periods. The first peak period is between 7 and 10. The second peak period is obviously in the afternoon after 5, between 5 and 7. Bear in mind that this time voting started at 7 and it ends at 7 this evening instead of the normal 9 p.m. So we're ending at 7 across the entire country. But I think it's a natural phenomenon wherever you find yourself that it peaks towards the end of the day as well.
So hopefully people won't wait for the last minute and they'll go sooner rather than later. Soon, however, our focus will be changing from the actual hype and the buzz of going out and voting, and soon we're going to start talking about results. Explain to us what happens once you've made your mark, once you've dropped your ballot paper into the box. What happens then, and from when can we expect results to start trickling in here?
We close voting stations at 7 o'clock this evening. That same voting stations. So across the Western Cape, there will be 1,586 voting centers, counting centers that will be established. So the station is converted into a counting center, and counting takes place at each local station. That counting will continue. Remember, we are counting 3 ballot papers in the rural areas, and we have 2 ballot papers for the metro. And when all the ballot papers have been counted at any voting station, a result slip is completed. That result slip is the legal document that is then transferred to an operational center at the municipality or anywhere 11 area centers within the metro itself. Though that information is then collated and results will then come out. Now, we're looking at the earliest one, I think, around about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we're working towards midday on Thursday to have everything wrapped up in the province if there are no major discrepancies. Up until now, we didn't have any major discrepancies with regard to the electoral process itself. We had the minor hiccups of the movement of material, and we have concentrated on how we plan the rollback of the actual results slips from each one of those centres across the province. We have 116 wards in the metro, which means that there's 116 elections that's taking place in the metro as we speak, and that is equivalent to about 810 voting stations. So 810 voting stations, information will be gathered in different points, that is brought together, and we'll get the metro result. In the same way, we will have municipal results from the other places as well.
My last question to you, people are quite interested in Robben Island because it's such a tiny area. Do we expect Robben Island to beat everybody else to the post, or is it just also a matter of waiting?
Robben Island, we've got about 150, just short of 200 people that should be voting at Robben Island. We sent out a material last night. If elections was completed by 3, but I don't think we've made it for 3 o'clock, we won't get the last ferry back. So counting will take place when the station is closed. And if the station closes at 7 o'clock, then we will get the result probably by 9, 10 o'clock. So they will be one of the first stations that will be, and their information is actually scanned through to us, and the original documents will be coming in tomorrow morning.
Mr. Marco, thank you so much for your time. Vanessa, well, there you have it, some voter education. Results are expected to start coming in from around 8:30 tonight. Obviously, IEC officials will be working throughout the night, and hopefully by tomorrow afternoon, we'll be able to start collating information properly. Vanessa, back to you.
Thank you very much, Abra. Getting an update there from the IEC's Derek Marco on how the process of voting has unfolded across the Western Cape. But let's take a look at Oudtshoorn. My colleague Mariska Botha is standing by in the local Bongolethu township. Now, service delivery, a very big issue in this area, especially with the town placed under municipal administration due to this instability. Mariska, what is the atmosphere like in the township this afternoon?
Well, you wouldn't actually think that Oudtshoorn is a town that until very recently, or actually still is a town in deep trouble. As you said there, it is under administration. But everywhere we've gone, people seem to be in a festive mood. People are coming out with their families to go vote. Earlier in Bridgeton, a little way from here, about a kilometre from here, we saw an entire family with a little 4-year-old daughter who went through the process with them, with the election process. And also over here, there's a lot of children running around, playing. There's a few people with vehicles playing music. There's a lot of chatting. It seems almost festive here in Oudtshoorn. No trouble at all. When we spoken to the IEC earlier, they say everything is going well. We also spoke to the police, who say they're happy to report that there were no incidents. And things are going really, really well in Oudtshoorn as people are voting. As you said, we are in Bongolethu at the moment. And of course, this is one of the areas where people have told us that service delivery is a serious issue. Earlier in the week, we had an opportunity to speak to a few women who sell ostrich feather dusters in town, and they actually live here in Bongolethu. And they actually told us, well, some of them told us that they're not going to vote because of the conditions here, and they feel that things never change, while the others said they're definitely going to vote because they feel they need change, and they can only do that by voting. But they're telling us housing, of course, remains a big issue. Service delivery like water and sanitation is also a big issue, and certainly on people's minds as they come to make their marks today. But as I'm standing here right now in Bongolethu, it's actually a very festive atmosphere in Oudtshoorn.
Mariska, it's funny that you say that there's a festive atmosphere in Oudtshoorn. I see little kids on the screen there behind you trying to get their 5 seconds worth of fame on SABC television. But the areas that we've seen our reporters across the province deployed to, specifically in the areas that are economically depressed, especially in areas where service delivery protests have happened, where the basic services on the ground have not been rolled out to the residents as they ought be. These seem to be the areas where people today are cautiously optimistic, because there seems to be, from what I see, a sense of jubilation almost as people make their way to the polls. Would you agree with the statement?
I would actually. Earlier we spoke to a gentleman who many years ago said he was on the council himself, and who said this is actually one of the most important elections for Oudtshoorn in its recent history because of the troubles it's seen in the last recent years. He said it's important that everybody comes out to vote, and as he was walking off to his car, he was still telling people who were just standing around, have you voted? You must go vote, you must cast your ballot. So definitely yes, it seems that people are taking this very seriously, and as the IEC reported to us, certainly a steady flow of people. We haven't seen queues of people standing or throngs of people, but we have seen a steady queue at every voting station that we have been visiting. And yes, like you said, there is a festive atmosphere, but people are taking this seriously, and they are going to cast their ballots where they think will make the best or greatest impact for them in their town.
Thank you very much, my colleague Mariska Botha, coming to us from Bongolethu Township in Oudtshoorn. But for now, it's back to the IEC Results Operations Centre in Tshwane.